relaxing poolside retreat, one lucky winner will enjoy an overnight stay for two, plus a delicious breakfast, all courtesy of Orchid Beer Resort. How to enter? Sign up for any center service or stay up to date with your payments for a chance to win. Live raffle draw on April 16th on Despierta Belice show. Enter now to win with Centaur.
For 4 years, the office of the Prime Minister has had a real leader, and the difference is clear. Belize has proudly established itself as a leader in CARICOM, in SICA, and on the world stage. When the nation speaks on issues of global importance, we are now heard and respected. Belize now receives exceptional reviews from international financial institutions like the IDB, CDB, the World Bank, and others. Our relationships and strong bonds regionally and globally with Mexico, the US, UK, European Union, and even new partners like Saudi Arabia have been forged through respect, integrity, trust, and a commitment to foster sustainable development of our people and country. True leadership in the office of the Prime Minister for 4 years, and the work continues. We move forward always.
Good evening. With your news also, Samuel Cost and Fiesta FM 106.7, I am Carmelita Perez. As we told you on Tuesday, the 2025 sugarcane crop season is expected to undergo a scheduled stop in production later today, as bad weather conditions have created major challenges for the industry on a whole. Since October, consistent rains have severely affected both the quality and quantity of sugarcane, which has made harvesting difficult. After a meeting on Tuesday, industry stakeholders decided this was the best interest of the ongoing season, meaning to halt grinding and allow for better conditions.
Since October, and that has made it extremely difficult in terms of the field conditions for farmers. First of all, trying to harvest in these conditions, we've had reports, of course, from the feeder roads going to the fields. So the roads have been in very terrible condition, and the fields have been in terrible conditions. This is not a good time to be harvesting because obviously the amount of mud and the difficulty that farmers have to extract their cane makes it extremely difficult. So you spend far more energy in terms of physical energy and also gas, etc., to actually bring cane to the factory. Once they're at the factory, we have to really deal with more than double the amount of mud that the factory can afford to process at this juncture. So it's really not a good time to actually continue with the cane season, simply because the challenges at the farm level and at the factory level are just extraordinary. The cost in terms of what we're spending to try and extract sugar from cane that has very poor quality at this juncture, simply because the rains have been so consistent, makes it, just not viable for us to continue with the cane crop at this juncture.
The factory has closed its gates and is no longer receiving cane. And while grinding is expected to culminate sometime tonight, the length of the pause, according to Communications Officer for BSI ASR William Neal, will be dependent again on weather conditions.
That will be determined by industry stakeholders, of course, and also based by the rains themselves.
So it's
So we're
indefinite?
praying for good weather. Huh?
Is it indefinite at this point in time? You haven't
Um,
defined that time period, 10 days, 20 days,
no,
5 days.
we can't. We're looking at the weather forecast, but we know that there's a cold front coming up, and usually there's a bit more drying out when we get to that juncture, because of the cold fronts. One of the things that we're pushing for obviously has to do with CIMIS, because if you're able to look at when fields were last harvested, you'd be able to then tell which fields are ready for harvesting and maximize the sugar content that you're getting. So we have to employ more data, more technology to make sure that we're doing the best things. But at this point, we're not sure exactly how long the pause will be. And we don't have enough data or a functioning CIMIS to actually say, okay, we'll go to the highlands and we'll extract from this particular area. So we're not sure, to be honest.
A lengthy stop at this time, when cane quality and quantity have not been optimum, will undoubtedly result in major losses for both the mill and particularly cane farmers.
It's hard to quantify at this juncture exactly what the impact will be, because fusarium is such an unknown factor, and then the conditions in the weather conditions in terms of the impact on cane quality. We know that we have several mitigation attempts coming in, including the 5Cs project, but those are more medium to long-term changes that we can make. We have to look at what is directly in front of us right now and try to make the best of the situation. Of course, there'll be some recalibration in terms of cane price estimates based on how much sugar we're able to actually make this year. But I think the team that does the cane price estimate will have to definitely go back to the table and see exactly what we're seeing in terms of sugar and its manufacturing. But we know already that the cane quality has been very, very poor. And even when we have a request in terms of the amount of cane that we'd like to bring to the factory on a daily basis, we're not meeting those quotas at all. So we know that we're operating in deficits all around. And so we'll definitely see a fall off in terms of cane price and the estimate, and that will affect both the farmers and the factory. We already are looking at the losses that we'll have this year, and it will be tremendous. And I'm sure farmers will probably say the same thing, but it will vary from farmer to farmer and from association to association. But it cannot be business.
With weather conditions changing as a result of climate change, BSI-ASR says the sugar industry must now transition into a new normal, which may require periodic stops when the situation warrants it.
In all of this situation, I think we just have to understand that there's a new normal given the challenges of climate change. We cannot continue to proceed with business as normal where, come December, we start the crop and we try and go through regardless of what this situation is. I think the new normal might also include taking pauses when there's excessive rains. The impact on cane quality alone is something that is worrisome. And then the impact on the factory is also, costly, because you're grinding mud more than you're grinding sugar. And the dirt, when it gets into the cogs of the factory itself, create breakdown and wear and tear that is unusual. So I think we just have to do a rethink. And as an industry, this is something that for all sides is probably the best approach. Obviously, we need infrastructure to be improved, and that's something that has to be done, across the sugar belt. We have seen, a neglect when it comes to the roads themselves for, decades. So this is nothing new. And if we're leaving it until the last minute to repair the roads, then that's obviously we'll have this challenge that we cannot then make any difference to the road conditions themselves. But it doesn't mean that farmers are in a better position either to extract the cane. The fields are wet. They've been wet for a long time, and this pause gives us an opportunity for hopefully a drying out. What we're all praying for is definitely some better weather conditions that will allow the fields to dry out, the roads to, also dry out a bit and maybe get some repairs from the government, and for the factory to get a break. We'll do some repairs and get a break from actually, just dealing with more mud than sugar.
But those are not the only factors affecting the industry. In terms of the mill itself, the elevated amount of mud being delivered along with low quality cane has taken a toll on its equipment. Industrial Operations Manager for BSI, Stephen Usher, says the scheduled stop is the best way forward at this time when the mill is producing more mud than sugar.
When you harvest under these conditions with a lot of rain, we get a lot of mud coming in. Again, we measure the mud as a function of the amount of cane that we grind. In a normal rainy season, like in a February month, we normally, for every ton of cane we grind, we would take out 5% is mud. So for example, if we grind 100 tons, 5 tons of that will be mud. Currently, that ratio is close to 10%. So if we grind 100 tons of cane, we're taking out 10 tons of mud. At that rate, we have Belcogen. Our Belcogen is a cogeneration plant. The bagasse or the fiber or the waste product goes to Belcogen. That is the fuel for Belcogen, and Belcogen supplies both steam and power for our milling operations. When we get the bagasse with a lot of mud and a lot of trash, it affects the boilers. The boilers' efficiency drop drastically. Normally, we would use, we have a figure of 48% steam percent cane. So whatever milling rate we're doing, let's say if we're milling 100 tons, we could get 50 tons of steam. Right now, that has changed drastically to 54%. So basically, we're using more bagasse to produce 1 ton of steam. What that does, it eats out our bagasse content, and we have less bagasse for storage. What happened to us since we've started with the rainy season, our milling rate has been lower than 200 tons cane per hour. So what we have been doing, we have been using our surplus bagasse. Using out our surplus bagasse means that if we ever stop, we need a certain amount of bagasse to restart. If that goes too low, it's like our fuel goes dry, we won't be able to mill, that's the end of the crop. So we took this decision to stop the milling so that once weather improves, we're getting higher quality cane to produce more sugar, cleaner cane so that we can have a cleaner bagasse to burn in our boilers as well. So,
moving forward, BSI ASR is also looking to upgrade its facilities to better deal with excess mud and reduce quality cane, which is expected to continue.
We have been looking at, and that's a good point, a cane cleaning equipment, which we put at our cane yard. So the cane coming in, it's like a vibrating bed. What that will do, it'll vibrate the cane to take out all the dirt and the dust, the sand, so that we get a cleaner cane going into the mill. Added to that, our clarification station at the back, which we clarify or we take out all the mud or suspended solids out of the juice. We're also considering putting in a mud belt. That's more efficient and it's a faster way of extracting the juice out of the mud at the clarification station. So those should help with throughput, which will increase grinding rate as well as the efficiency of the factory. So that's one area we are looking at as well, but it's in the pipeline.
And with no bagasse currently in the facilities, the upcoming stop will also mean that Belcogen will not be supplying any power to the grid.
What happened is that's one of the reasons why we stopped too, because as I mentioned earlier, we need to maintain a certain grinding rate so that we can have surplus bagasse, which is our fuel. We have been eating that out. We decided to mutually have a stop until weather conditions improve. And as William mentioned, we don't know exactly when that will be the startup. So that when we start up, we get better quality cane, we get cleaner cane, and once we start to mill, it should be at a higher grinding rate than the 200 tons cane per hour. Normally, we would be closer to the 260, 280 tons cane per hour. And what that will do, that will enable us to start accumulating surplus bagasse as well. So to answer your question right now, we do have sufficient bagasse for another startup when we start milling again after this pause that we are experiencing right now. We will not be exporting or putting any power to the national grid right now.
Okay.
A fire on the Otrobenke Road here in Orange Walk Town shortly before midday today destroyed an apartment building, leaving 3 families without a roof over their heads tonight. The fire broke out shortly after 11 this morning inside one of these small apartments owned by Benjamin Popper. The blaze quickly moved to the adjacent apartment, destroying both homes. Another apartment located at the back of the building where Popper resides also received smoke and water damage due to the inferno. 70-year-old Benjamin Popper says he was returning home from running an errand when he noticed smoke coming from one of the rooms, and by the time the tenants made it out, the fire had spread to the roof and engulfed the entire building. Popper says he was not able to save anything and could only watch as the fire burned away his only source of income and home.
We will not be exporting or putting any power to the national grid right now.
Okay.
And if I have their little room, kind of $30 a week, and that I depend on that to survive, you understand? I never had a problem like this yet, you know. I first went to fix my walking stick, all right? When I came back, I just entered the room. When I entered my room, I started smoke, so I knocked on the door, pay the door. Then when they go on, when they go on, all right? Then when I come out and I see it's out of the hot water, but the fire be done there, when that happened, look like the smoke, third fire one time. And I couldn't have a class in another place there where the light passer, you see? But then, I don't know because I can't understand the couple were fighting. But I don't think that's because they fighting they were like fire. I can't put the head on the black and say, well they do it. They must be the fighter, maybe that's where the cigarette drop on the mattress. But I can't complain about the fire agent because they never take lap. They never take lap and, you know, they're not the one that help me a lot.
With 3 of his apartments now lost to the fire, including his own home, Popper, who is incapacitated, says he can only hope that Orange Wakeños can band together to help him rebuild.
Three apartments, yes, 3 apartments. Yeah. So I don't know what I do tonight for him. I have to call the electricity board because I don't got no current, everything. They was here come.
Everything get lost in those.
I lost everything when I side there. Like you could see it. I lost everything too. Not due to the fire, due to the fire. Because of power, you know. Knocked out, broke up the TV, the cable, everything. have to be shelved there because you know the fragile things I only got in yellow plant, so we can only for my personal use. You think? My clothes, everything. That's a very good question. Well, we got faith in things, it can get worse. It don't reach to the book. All right? When it's going to happen. I got lots of friends that were my lad. And I don't know, they tell me I come to the minister, see where, see if they could give me a push, you see. But they quite tell you, I can't remove wrong right off if make you get taxi for your taxi, 555. Because they got people ahead down there.
In news involving the political arena, with nomination day fast approaching, the final stretch to the general elections on March 12, 2025 is underway, and the United Democratic UDP saga continues to unfold. The party, embroiled in a leadership dispute, and that is between Shine Barrow and Tracy Panton, is now battling over its identity, with the contentious issue of its election day color taking center stage. Both factions, each claiming to be the legitimate leadership, are preparing to field slates of 31 candidates. Compounding the turmoil, both Barrow and Panton intend to utilize the party's traditional color red. Today, a meeting in Belmopan called by the Elections and Boundaries Department saw this very issue debated, leaving many wondering how the UDP will differentiate themselves at the polls. Sheena Pitts, chair for the UDP faction led by Tracy Panton, addressed the media after the meeting, offering a cautious response.
What has been shared is that the Election and Boundaries Commission met and they had a discussion, and after which a vote was taken on whether or not colors would be assigned. It is my understanding that a vote was taken 4-2 that the color red would be able to be used by all UDPs. And thereafter, an invitation was made to consider a symbol to distinguish the UDP standard bearers going up for elections. So that's my understanding of what occurred and the decision and where we're now at. And as I understand it, what remains outstanding is an indication from the UDP persons to inform the Elections and Boundaries Commission whether or not they would use a symbol in addition to the color red.
Does Ms. Van Donskamp see this as a win, that you guys can use the color red?
Well, we are UDPs, and the color for UDP is red. And it's just that, in my view, that is not a win. That is the rightful thing.
Do you feel that it makes it difficult for Belizeans? Because, you know, the prerogative is to make the ballots as clear as possible. Belizeans going in, they're looking for red now. They're seeing two red. They're seeing symbols that they haven't seen before. Don't you think it makes it a little bit more confusing for them?
Well, hold on. We don't know yet that there will be symbols, right? So I don't want you to proceed on the understanding that there will be. I'm saying that what we know for certain is that all UDP standard bearers would be able to use red. And what remains outstanding is whether or not anyone would opt to use an accompanying symbol. Now, whether or not that, if it comes to that, whether or not that would be confusing, it remains the obligations of the party to do voter education. And you heard the Chief Elections Officer say just that voter education is important. And I think what is remarkable about this very special election this year is that you will see democracy at play when voters go to the poll.
In stark contrast, Michael Perafit, chair of the UDP aligned with Shine Barrow, adopted a more evasive and somewhat combative stance. When pressed for a direct answer on which faction would utilize the color red on election day, Perafit avoided a straightforward response.
on nomination day, people who want to contest the election will go there and put the colors that they want to be associated with, whether pink, yellow, whatever. If there is any issue with colors or symbols on that day, then the Elections and Boundaries Commission will have to make a decision as to how they will differentiate between the different people wanting to be associated with similar or the same symbols, for example. So it's very premature to say who will get which color or who will get what symbol, because there is no conflict. Nothing has ripened for them to make a decision. It could very well be that different people agree to use a different color, and for example, so you could say red, maybe only one group of people decide to use red, maybe the other side decides not to use red. So it's premature to determine that at this point until nomination day, when the different candidates go up and say, listen, I am running in this division with this color. Sir, we're not there yet, so we have to wait.
Sir, but the commission did make a determination yesterday saying that both factions will be allowed to use red, but with symbols to differentiate.
I think it would be more fair to say that the commission has indicated what they have in mind that they may do in the event that there's a conflict.
But you may agree that it's highly unlikely that either one of these factions decide to use another color.
But I don't know. We have to wait until nomination day.
How do you speak on your side?
I have seen two political parties come together and beat the PUP in 1993. So you don't know.
You're saying that there's maybe space for mediation still?
What I'm saying is that we won't know anything until 24th of February on what nomination day. We won't know anything about colors or symbols or anything like that until then. But I believe there are far more important things going on in this country, like the high cost of living and crime, than color. I would say
that the decision was premature.
I would say clearly it's premature, but I would say that there are a lot more things important, that are more important than a color on a ballot. I would like to think that the Belizean people, when they go to the polls, they don't say, oh wow, look at that color. Well then let me have that person. Let me vote for that person simply because, let me vote for that person to control the finances, my tax dollars, and the only determination as to whether or not you vote for that person is whatever symbol is next to their name. I would like to think that the Belizean people are deeper than that. However, the Elections and Boundaries have to find a way to differentiate between candidates.
Yeah. To be clear, the Elections and Boundaries Commission, EBC, has ruled that Moses Shine Barrow and Tracy Panton will both be assigned traditional UDP red with different symbols for the upcoming general elections. But would this still confuse UDP voters?
That's why you have, I believe, sample ballots. So if Paul Lopez is running and he run a sandfly or a mosquito, you have the sample ballot with his name with the X next to him. So I imagine that if he goes to campaign, he will distribute his sample ballot and say, hey, I want the Makala. Say, just look for the Makala and vote for me. I really don't see the difficulty. Now, of course, options are open for judicial review of the commission. The UDP will have to discuss any decision made by the Elections and Boundaries Commission and weigh our options. However, some may believe, and they have a point, that at this point there are some things far more important than that, far more important than which shade of gray you want to use.
And adding another layer of complexity to the UDP story, neither Barrow nor Panton has yet officially announced their full slates of candidates, despite nomination day being just a week away. But according to Michael Parafit, Shine Barrow's slate would be unveiled soon.
You will be seeing them when you'll be seeing them very soon. It will be before nomination. Hey, that's we party, not your party.
But people want to know who is going to represent them, who they should be voting for.
And our people know, and our people will be formally introduced very soon.
Are you able to see if the party has chosen another candidate for collect? Because I know some days ago...
Our candidates will be put out there very soon, and you will know exactly who is running where. Well, you will see.
With the UDP seemingly struggling to present a unified front and secure its candidates, concerns are now being raised over their financial readiness to support their campaign efforts. When this question was posed, Parafit shifted the narrative.
There are reports and even quarrels about certain candidates not getting the sort of financial backing that they need to run their campaigns. Can you tell us if that is in fact the case, or if Mr. Barrow is putting out the money?
Well, you're the one asserting. Show me where that is.
Okay.
Who said that?
So,
No, I'm asking. You said that there have been quarrels and you've seen reports. What? Show me the report.
So let's look at...
No, man, I'm asking you. Show me the report.
Let's look at...
You are asserting a thing.
Okay.
Show me what you're asserting.
Well, I'm asking you to clarify.
No, man, you want me to comment on an imaginary situation. If you have a real situation, show me. But what we're going through right now is what we've always gone through. And the UDP, at its worst national election moment in 2020, we had 32,000 people voted for the UDP. You know. We are a mass party. People contribute, people volunteer their services, people assist the party for the betterment of the country because they know that the UDP is better for Belize. So it's not all about money as people want to have us believe. And I think it's very insulting to the Belizean people to say, oh, you have to have so much money because you have to pay people to vote for you. No, you can't pay the Belizean people to vote for you. Well, I tell you what I believe. Well, you know, who pay people?
Mr. Wade got up moment.
No. What I'm saying, yeah, but you're a journalist, sir. Yeah. You're a journalist. Before you say people pay people for vote, you need to have some proof of that. Yeah. Because that's a secret. Well, that's actually, yes, but what I'm saying, you cannot just throw a broad statement like that.
The political landscape is now set to face the impending nomination day with a divided UDP. As mentioned, the Election and Boundaries Commission, EBC, has ruled that Moses Shine Barrow and Tracy Panton will both be assigned traditional UDP red with different symbols for the upcoming elections. The unprecedented ruling was announced following a meeting on Tuesday. Earlier today, the media was able to speak to Orlando Espata, the commissioner of the Elections and Boundaries Commission. He explained the rationale behind the decision.
Same color on your nomination application.
Okay. First of all, the Commission has to abide by Section 88 of the Constitution. And Section 88 establishes the Elections and Boundaries Commission. The Commission is in charge of the conduct of elections, referenda, any other matter that is compatible with it. I told them today, because some people believe that the representation of the People's Act is not part of the Constitution. It is part of the Constitution. But what we are doing is we are preparing the elections in a manner that is compatible with the representation of the People's Act. And we do it by getting together, make sure that the Chief Elections Officer carries out all the rules and regulations, getting the nomination day ready. And when it comes to the colors, as I explained here in the meeting today, that the representation of the People's Act empowers us. In the case that the political parties cannot agree with a color, then there's a section in the representation of the People's Act that empowers the Commission to assign colors or symbols to the political parties.
All right, and so that determination is expected to be made how?
We do it in the Commission level. And we have already done it by taking a vote. As I gave you all today, we gave options. And the option that was agreed upon by a not unanimous vote, but the majority vote in the Commission, is that the two political parties will get red. And we gave them also the option to go back to their political parties, which the UDP side is saying, no, there's only one UDP. The other side saying, we are also UDP. So both of them want the red. So we opted, okay, we're going to give you both the red, but you go back to your party now and you come back to us next week and you tell us what symbol you want us to put there.
So it's confirmed that there will be two different symbols for each faction.
What is confirmed is that the two sides will get red on the ballot. What is not confirmed yet is the symbol that they will choose to put on the red.
Is it?
Coming up next, Corozal Town Council and Police Department join forces to combat key community issues. Stay tuned.
Escape to paradise. Centaur is giving you the chance to win an unforgettable getaway at the breathtaking Orchid Bay Resort. Picture this: a stunning beach and a relaxing poolside retreat. One lucky winner will enjoy an overnight stay for two, plus a delicious breakfast, all courtesy of Orchid Bay Resort. How to enter? Sign up for any Centaur service or stay up to date with your payments for a chance to win. Live raffle draw on April 16th on Despierta Belize show. Enter now to win with Centaur.
Nation building is a task for giants. Your People's United Party government is strong, united, and committed to building Belize. In just 4 years, this government has reduced the poverty level from 52% to 26%. That is a fact. We have provided financial and technical assistance to small farmers. We have invested in our productive sectors to create more employment. We have re-energized stagnant industries, and we have supported new and innovative agriculture ventures like honey and frozen pulp. By creating training, assistance, and markets through continuous investment in our people, we enable them to build a better life for themselves and for their families. This government is putting in the work, rebuilding the economy, growing the nation, developing our people. Together, we move forward always with the People's United Party and the people.
The Corozal Town Council and the Corozal Police Department convened this Monday to address several key issues impacting the community. The meeting, attended by Officer in Charge of the Corozal Police Formation, Elroy Carcamo, and his deputy, Emil August, along with Mayor Rigo Veos, Councillor Baldemar Petch Jr., and Council Administrator Alberto Veos, focused on critical aspects of town management, including security, traffic management, and infrastructure development. In an interview today, Mayor Veos emphasized the vital collaborative effort with the council and the police department.
On Monday, we met with OC Carcamo and Deputy OC Mr. August. And basically what we discussed is, one, how much we can collaborate together between the town council and the Corozal Police Formation. It is something that has been happening ever since, but of course, any working relationship you want to nourish and see how much you can improve on it. So that was part of it. But the major part, what we discussed, is about the safety. Recently we have seen a couple of crimes here in Corozal, and we sat down and discussed how much we can support one another and ensure that Corozal is a bit safer. We went all the way to the extent where we discussed about maybe adding more cameras within the town, specific strategically and in some areas. But the major topic was safety. What all we can do together to ensure that Corozal stays safe and for people to feel safer, especially within the public areas, the open areas like the parks. As you have seen, Corozal has a brand new improved park, Chaktemal Park, and I notice a lot of young people go there, and even the middle age and a little bit old people go there. So we want to ensure that our parks are safe also. It's useless for us to have good parks and it's not safe. People will not want to use it. Chaktemal does have security at night right now, right as we speak. But eventually we will add cameras around our parks. That is the future plan for Chaktemal, right? To add cameras to it, and eventually to have securities as much as possible within our parks. Parks has to be one of those safest places. You're talking about children playing, within those parks, and we know that anything can happen at parks, right? So it is something where we want our community to feel safe, not only at parks, but in general.
Traffic management was another primary focus of the meeting. Mayor Veos addressed plans to improve traffic flow, specifically mentioning efforts to minimize traffic incidents, particularly those involving motorcycles, which have been a concern in recent months.
Traffic was one of the other topics that we discussed now. And as we can see, there are some streets that are very congested. So traffic was another topic that we discussed. We definitely sat and put some ideas on the table, and it's something that we will discuss a bit further to see what ideas we can put in place, because it's not only about doing, but also about doing and let it work effectively, right? And for it not to disturb the everyday life of everyone out there that is already happening. No, it is to improve the traffic management and improve traffic out there.
In addition to security and traffic, Mayor Veos announced plans for upcoming road rehabilitation projects.
We must remind each other that this town council inherited a town with the worst infrastructure in place. But I am surely can boast that we have paid close to 7 miles of street, for example, Olga Marin, 7th Avenue extension, part of 1st Avenue, only to mention a few. But we have paved close to 7 miles, right? And we will continue to do that. What is holding us back is a bit of the rain that is very unpredictable. We can make arrangements to do work, and then suddenly it starts to rain and you need to hold back everything that you had planned. No, but I do ask my community, my beautiful Corozal residents, to have patience. We will start to pave again, right? Actually, we are preparing machinery so that we can go there and do some grading and eventually patching and paving new streets again. This is a continuous work that has to happen. It is our commitment to our people, and it's a commitment that I took very serious and plan to stay committed, right? So yes, the rain is messing up a lot of street, but we need the rain to also stop to be able to work, right? But it's sad to say that we did inherit the worst infrastructure, but we're doing our best, paving close to 7 miles of street out of the people's money. It's a long way to go, no? And we plan to see how much we can add to those 7 miles, maybe another 7 miles, right, within this term.
Financial management and community development were also key topics. Aligned to that discussion, the mayor reiterated the importance of citizens fulfilling their financial obligations to the council.
Surely financial management is very important, right? Which is something that I can boast about here at the town council. Since 2018, we ensure that we concentrate on a good financial management. We have a good town administrator that ensures that happens. But also encouraging people, to come and pay what they need to pay their dues, right? The property tax, ensure that every business have its trade license paid. Those are the little dues that the town council depends on to ensure that we invest right back into the town, right? So that's what we have to do, encourage people to pay their dues, and also find ways and new ideas for the town council to create a bit of more economic activity for people so that they can afford to pay it, and also come with new ideas so that the town council can create new revenues, like what we are doing at the Chaktemal Plaza, right? We're creating a bit of economic activity within our town and also creating revenues, because we will have the chaos that we will be renting. So that's a new idea and an additional revenue that will come into town council, and at the same time create economic development and economic activity for our community.
Follow-up meetings will be held to monitor the effectiveness of the implemented plans and ensure progress towards a better Corozal. For over a year, Belizeans across the country have faced a frustrating and often debilitating shortage of vehicle license plates, stickers, and driver's license. However, there appears to be a light at the end of the tunnel. Today, Rodwell Ferguson, the minister responsible for transport, announced that the protracted issue has been resolved and that the problems will be a thing of the past. The news comes as a significant relief to residents who have endured months of uncertainty and frustration.
We are from a company in Belize, so I'm of assumption that everything has been done in Belize. And we had a huge amount, so the license plate and sticker will be an issue of the past. And I want to give my team kudos, because when they put on the pressure and said, man, we need to solve this problem, ever since I became the minister, I am behind them every day to make sure we have license plates and stickers. So I believe in 2025, 26, there will be no more license plate issue, there will be no more stickers issue, because we even increased the budget so we don't have any shortfall.
The political landscape in Belize is abuzz following Prime Minister John Briceño's announcement that the next general election will be held on March 12th. The confirmation has ignited a surge of activity across the nation, with the ruling People's United Party eager to secure a second term after their first successful mandate. With the official countdown underway, Minister of Transport Rodwell Ferguson today expressed his readiness for the upcoming polls.
Well, I asked the Prime Minister for a card election from November last year, because I am ready to go to the polls, and so I'm happy that there was no injunction and we will proceed. Myself, I have put in my works since 2020 in my constituency, so I'm going to an election very, very comfortable. I believe I'll even break my last year's record.
Wow.
Yeah. So I feel good. So now I'll go back to my constituency and I work every day. As a matter of fact, every night I'm in a village for a meeting to sensitize my people that we have done so much over the last 4 years. Give me another 5 years to be able to continue to work for you. And what I do, I maintain a relationship with all my people, and I want to hear who are red and I want to hear who are blue. And so myself give me put me on a certain pinnacle. People are energized and they want to make sure that I deliver my seat based on their support.
Are there any concerns, though, of things that may not have been finished?
Yes, as the Prime Minister always say, it's a period of time things can be done. And my people appreciate what was done in the last 4 years in such a short time. And what I do, I maintain a relationship with all my village councils.
And in other news, a group of retired public officers led by their association, that's the Association of Beneficiaries and Retired Public Officers, staged protests yesterday in Balmopan outside the Prime Minister's office, demanding the disbursement of long overdue benefits. The officers, many of whom have been waiting for over 30 years, are seeking to recoup unpaid benefits stemming from a frozen increment between 1995 to 1997. Today, the group attempted to demonstrate their strength in Belize City, but the turnout was reportedly minimal, indicating a lack of widespread support for the cause. Despite the diminished support, the association remains steadfast in its demands. Central to their current grievances is the Public Sector Workers Trust Fund. The group is calling on the government of Belize to dissolve the trust, believing this is the key to unlocking their benefits. Retired Assistant Commissioner of Income Tax Lisbeth Castillo has become a vocal spokesperson for the group. Speaking to the media, Castillo expressed her frustration with the prolonged delays.
About 2+ years ago, the Prime Minister made a promise to us that he would dissolve the trust that is there currently to try and help us get what is justly ours, monies that have been owing to us. This year will make 30 years, Marisol. 30 years. We were not given our increments from 1995 to 1997, and so all these years it's been a long struggle for us. But we have faith, we have hope in that we can depend on his word, being good, that he will do it. And I think, to be honest, I think truthfully, at least that's my personal belief, I'm not speaking on behalf of the other members, I think he wants to help us. Whether I'm correct or not, time will tell. But I truly think he wants to help us, but they're just dragging their feet on this matter. Action can be taken anytime. Our last meeting with the government representatives was way back in November. We were supposed to have a meeting in December. It's nearly the end of February. The few of us who represent this entire group, I'm one of the persons who represent this group at all the meetings, we have always said to them, no matter what, if they call us today and say they want us to meet tomorrow, we make ourselves available.
Castillo emphasized the ease with which the matter could be resolved if priority was given.
It can be resolved, but I have to be fair to the government because the government is the one that has been sued. But we have said to him that if they meet with the other parties and give them something in writing, then I am sure those persons might consider. I cannot speak for them a result because that matter is in the Court of Appeal. If that matter is withdrawn, then the government is free to do what they want. But I think they can help the process, and they have not done so to our satisfaction.
However, in order to capture the government's attention, Castillo emphasizes that membership must actively support the movement.
If we are on the executive, we need to lead by example. I just wish the other beneficiaries would think the same as well, because we have a lot of abled beneficiaries. I am not knocking down anybody who is ill, who is unable to come, but I'm sure that 9,000 plus, they are not all sick to the point that they cannot come. I just want people to understand that we can only be as strong as the support that we receive from others.
The organization has vowed to continue their protests until their demands are met. Rudy Wade, the standard bearer for the Belize Justice Movement, was one of the prominent figures at today's crucial meeting convened by the Elections and Boundaries Department in Belmopan. The gathering addressed various issues related to Nomination Day and the forthcoming general elections. Wade's presence at the meeting may have raised eyebrows, though, not just because of his political aspirations, but also due to his involvement in Case 730 of 2024, where he is one of the claimants who sought to compel the government into a redistricting exercise ahead of the elections. When approached by media representatives, Wade was asked about the paradox of pursuing legal action against the government while simultaneously campaigning for a parliamentary seat.
It's so sad in this country how this two-party system has us, especially the youths, because they don't really know the history of these people, right? So if you dig back on the history of these people, you kind of like want to think twice going voting a PUP or a UDP. But if we watch how this two-party system governs our country for decades, right? I mean, they don't want people to be empowered, right? So hopefully at some point the Belizean people will see, right, a need for change, right? Because
historically, third parties in Belize have faced significant challenges in securing seats in Parliament, with a track record of underperformance during general elections. When questioned whether the outcome would be different in the upcoming 2025 elections, Wade pointed his finger at the younger electorate.
Address it. You know, that's a thing.
And now you're running your Belize Justice Movement. And I know you also have the redistricting case, as you mentioned. Is it contradictory to have that case and call this election illegal because that redistricting hasn't happened, but still be a candidate in the election?
Well, my take on that is that our case in the court before this man called election, right? John Bristeno called election. Let's say before. So I will weigh the pros and the cons, right? Because he already called election already.
There is more news after the break. Stay tuned.
Escape to paradise. Centaur is giving you the chance to win an unforgettable getaway at the breathtaking Orchid Bay Resort. Picture this: a stunning beach and a relaxing poolside retreat. One lucky winner will enjoy an overnight stay for two, plus a delicious breakfast, all courtesy of Orchid Bay Resort. How to enter? Sign up for any Centaur service or stay up to date with your payments for a chance to win. Live raffle draw on April 16th on Despierta Belize show. Enter now to win with Centaur.
Nation building is a task for giants. Your People's United Party government is strong, united, and committed to building Belize. In 2018, the poverty rate was at 52%. Over 200,000 Belizeans living in poverty. As we near the end of 2024, the poverty rate has been cut in half, from 52% to 26%. By investing in our tourism product, government created thousands of new jobs. By believing in our people, government created opportunities for Belizeans to pull themselves out of poverty and to build better lives for themselves and their families. This government is putting in the work, rebuilding the economy, growing the nation, developing our people. Together, we move forward always with the People's United Party and the people.
Nel Rodriguez was officially sworn in as Belize's new Auditor General today at the Belize House in Belmopan. This appointment, effective from January 1st, 2025 to July 28, 2047, is seen by the government of Belize as a crucial step in fortifying transparency and accountability across government operations. During the swearing-in ceremony, representatives from the government emphasized Rodriguez's role in promoting good governance within the nation. Her appointment reinforces Belize's commitment to transparency and accountability in public office, the statement read. We believe that Mrs. Rodriguez's extensive background and experience make her an excellent fit for this important role, end quote. However, the appointment of Rodriguez has not been without its critics. In a polarized political landscape, both the Senate and the House of Representatives have witnessed heated debates regarding the legitimacy of her selection. Concerns were voiced about the transparency of the selection process, with accusations pointed towards potential nepotism, raising eyebrows among various political factions. Opposition leader Moses Shaimbaro took center stage in the debate, scrutinizing Rodriguez's academic qualifications and questioning the legality surrounding her promotion to Supervisor of Audit back in 2014. And in some final news, as the month of love draws to a close in just 9 days, so too does the season for indulging in the delectable Caribbean spiny lobster, a culinary highlight for many in Belize. The Fisheries Department has officially announced that the current lobster season will conclude on February 28. This decision adheres to the harmonized regional lobster regulations implemented by the Organization for Central American Fisheries and Aquaculture sector, ensuring the long-term stability of this valuable marine resource. The closure is crucial for allowing the lobster population to replenish and thrive, paving the way for another plentiful season in the future. The Fisheries Department emphasizes that the closed season is a critical period for conservation. Individuals found in possession of lobster after February 28, 2025 will face prosecution under the law. This also extends to the removal of all lobster traps from fishing grounds during the closed season. This closure is designed to allow the lobster population to reproduce and ensure that when the season reopens, the public will be able to enjoy the Caribbean spiny lobster once more. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Thursday, February 20, here on Ctv3 News and Fiesta FM 106.7 Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at www.ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3belizenews or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. From all of us here at CTV3 News, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.